This is Tom Fox. I'd like to welcome you to the newest addition to the Compliance Podcast Network, the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. Join us as we explore the latest trends from the Department of Justice, share some best practices, demystify complex compliance issues to help keep your organization doing business ethically and in compliance, and at the end of the day, more profitably. Tune in daily for your dose of compliance wisdom. Let's make compliance a little less daunting, one tip at a time. Now a word from the sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, Ethico.
In compliance, the value of anonymous reporting is undeniable. But with Ethico, anonymity doesn't mean a loss of connection. Our blinded, two-way communication fosters an environment of trust and confidentiality, encouraging open and honest dialogue. It's not just about receiving reports. It's about understanding the story behind each one, creating a culture of integrity and respect. Transform your approach to anonymous reporting with Ethico. Begin your journey at ethico.com/CPN, where you can book a demo, access an exclusive white paper by Tom Fox titled The ROI of Compliance, and utilize our free ROI calculator.
Today we take up clawbacks. If there is one term the Department of Justice has focused on over the past 18 months or so, it has been clawbacks. Although they've long focused on financial incentives as part of a best practices compliance program, they are now talking about clawbacks as a key component as well. This was driven home in the Monaco Memo of 2022. Prior to the Monaco Memo, clawbacks were generally not seen as a necessary part of a compliance program. However, the use of clawbacks is now clearly mandated by the Department of Justice. Moreover, having such a penalty in place is seen as a good part of a corporate culture that not only penalizes those who engage in unethical behavior and in violation of corporate policies and procedures, but promotes compliant behavior and emphasizes the corporation's commitment to compliance programs and cultures. Let's start at the basics. What is a clawback? It is a provision within a business or employment contract that allows, under a prescribed set of circumstances, an organization to reclaim incentives or bonus funds previously paid to an employee. Clawback clauses provide a form of guidance in situations where businesses need to respond to employee misconduct, poor job performance, low achievement, or general decline. Two key requirements of a clawback program are: one, a provision in a written employment agreement, and two, the compensation received is in the form of incentive or bonus, not salary. This second provision is obviously critical for employees going forward. The Monaco Memo says all of this should be written down and reflected in a corporation's compliance policies and procedures. It stated a corporation's policies and practices regarding compensation and determine whether they are followed in practice. Obviously, this is consistent with the final SEC rule, which says a company should develop and implement a policy requiring erroneously awarded incentive-based compensation. The final rule stated that in the event an issuer is required to prepare an accounting restatement due to material noncompliance with any financial reporting requirements, the issuer will recover from its former or current employee those who received incentive-based compensation during the preceding 3 years. The Monaco Memo made clear that it's not simply required to have the rule in place, you have to actually do so. And with a series of FCPA enforcement actions beginning with ABB through Albemarle, SAP, and then Gunvor, we saw successful clawbacks credited by the DOJ. This month's sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, including this podcast, is Ethico. Have you ever wondered about the ROI of your compliance program or had concerns with presenting budget proposals to your CFO? Well, I partnered with Ethico to write a white paper on the ROI of compliance and how you can think through compliance as an investment strategy. Ethico has put together a ROI calculator for you. Check them out on the website. This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily. And frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The compliance tip of the day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network.